I'm John White, and today we're going to be talking about ornamental grasses. And ornamental grasses are a growing thing in the gardening trade. It's becoming very popular, and so we're going to talk about some of the varieties and how to care for some of those ornamental grasses here in the southern part of the state. And with me today is Jackie Meineke. Jackie, welcome to Southwest Yard and Garden.
Hi, John. How are you today?
Good. Let's talk a little bit about first, how do we care for ornamental grasses when we have one?
Most of the ornamental grasses are not native to this part of the world. There are a few, and we'll talk about those later, but the ones that are not native need to be on a drip system. They need to be watered 2 or 3 times a week, a nice good soak, and then at the end of the season, they'll do their blooms. You can leave them through the fall and the winter, and in the spring, go back in and cut them up to about 6 or 8 inches so that all this nice new growth can come out and all of the old dead stuff is covered up.
Okay. Because I know that's a question a lot of people always have, is how much to cut them back, or whether to cut them back, and what time of year to cut them back. So you want to come back right before they put their spring growth on.
Right before the spring growth. I usually wait till I see a little bit of green down at the bottom, and when you've seen that green, you'll know, it's time. Let's get out there and cut the grasses.
Okay. Well, let's go take a look at some grasses and talk about some of the varieties that do good in the area.
Okay.
Jackie, this is a real colorful grass. What is this?
This is everyone's favorite. This is called Regal Mist, and it's a Muhlenbergia, which is not native to the area, but very drought tolerant and adaptive. It's one of the ones I was talking about that needs the regular water, but the payoff in the fall is well worth the investment.
Not particularly showy in the spring, but right now is its prime.
It is the prime right now. The rest of the year, it's just kind of a green hammock in the garden beds.
And again, as this head begins to dry out, it'll start to lose a little bit of its color, and then, as you said, leave it during the winter and then zip it back down in the spring.
That's correct.
Okay, let's go take a look at another Muhlenbergia. Jackie, this one's also real colorful. What's this one?
This grass is also a Muhlenbergia. It's called Nashville. This is one of the smaller ones. It only gets about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet, so it'll fit in any garden bed.
Good size for an average city lot.
Yeah, this one is very workable. This is really showing off with all this nice wind. The magic of the grasses, between the light in the back where the light changes all the time and the nice gentle movement, this is what makes them fun to have in the garden.
Okay, that's a pretty one. Let's take a look at another Muhlenbergia.
We can do that.
Jackie, this grass has a very symmetrical look to it. What's this one?
This one is our deer grass, and this is one of the native Muhlenbergias, so it's going to require a little less water to be so beautiful. It's a nice soft look. It will soften the rocks or the harder native plants.
I guess some of the yards where we have the big pampas grass and stuff, this one doesn't take up the room that a pampas grass would, so it works real good in smaller yards.
This is pretty much its full size, so it will always work better in a smaller location.
Yeah. In a large location, of course, you can plant 3 or 5 of them and have kind of a mass look to it. But
yes,
they do look great with boulders, rock, so really a good plant to use in a landscape. Let's take a look at one more. Jackie, this one looks like one of our native grasses.
That's right, John. This is a native grass. It's called purple Three-Awn, and it grows wild along the roadsides throughout southern New Mexico. It's very drought tolerant once established and requires little water at all, but it still blends very well with our native wildflowers.
It is a little bit past its prime, so we've lost a little bit of the purple color on it, but it is, you can kind of see from the shape of it, it is a very interesting, again, a native grass, so you're using less water and it's a native, so it is a good grass for the area.
Very good.
Jackie, this looks like a real fine bladed grass. What's this one?
This is called threadgrass, very much as it is fine-bladed. It's one of our natives. It stays quite small, so it'll fit in the flower beds with the other flowers. The difference between this one and some of our other natives is this one blooms in the spring. Okay. So all the seed heads have already been cut off of this one to have this beautiful soft shape.
I guess it's also, some people call it stipa, just by its scientific name, stipa grass.
Stipa grass, and it's also sometimes called ponytails because of the way the seed heads knot and make ponytails.
Okay, and this is also one that will turn brown in the winter and we'll cut it back and have it regrow?
Yes.
Okay. Well, kind of to sum up some of the grasses that we've looked at, most of the ornamental grasses are warm season grasses, so they are going to die out during the, or not die out, but they're going to turn brown during the winter. But we still have a nice look to them, even though they do not have green color with them.
Yes, we get the lovely fall color, and then they hold the heads through the fall and have a nice soft kind of golden look till it gets cold.
Okay. And some of the grasses we looked at are native and some aren't, so we still need to put water on them. They do respond to a little bit of fertilizer, but not over fertilizing them.
Definitely not over fertilizing any of the grasses.
Okay. Well, Jackie, thank you very much for being with us on Southwest Yard and Garden.
Thank you.